Hello, and welcome back to Really Early Mornings with Jeremiah. Today we will be taking a trip back in history and be interviewing a very inspirational person. This person is the youngest Jewish worker to work for Schindler who survived the Holocaust. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Leon Layson.
Hello, Jeremiah. So nice to see you again.
So Leon, how old are you currently?
I'm 83.
So that makes you year born what now?
Well, I was born in 1929. I feel extremely lucky to be here in 2013.
Well, today I'm going to ask you about your fantastic book you wrote. So if any of the audience would like to get at this book, I would like to highly suggest it. This book is called The Boy on the Wooden Box. The author is Layson L., who we have with us today. The copyright date is 2013, and the publisher is the estate of Leon Layson.
Sounds good to me.
So when was the time period of this book?
About in the 1940s through 1947.
What was happening in the world at this time?
World War II and the Holocaust. The Holocaust was a time when millions of Jews were killed by a group called the Nazis. The Nazis were under the orders by a man called Hitler. Hitler was a very bad German man.
So who is the main character in this book?
Well, the main character is me, Leon Layson.
What are two traits that you have in the beginning of this book?
In the beginning of the book, I was very naive and very non-judgmental.
Well, why do you say that?
In the book, I was always very confused to see other Jews dying for no reason. I also didn't know how to act around a Nazi for the first time, so I would definitely call myself naive. I would call myself non-judgmental because when my father first started working for Schindler, I had heard many things about him. The people had called him like scoundrel, womanizer, war profiteer, and drunk. Although these were all said, I never judged him. In the book, I never ever judged my mother for breaking down in front of me for being too overwhelmed or being pressured.
So at the end of this book, did you end up changing?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I did.
In what way?
Well, at the end of the story, I had completely different character traits by the end of the book.
Well, what are those?
I was brave and enlightened. I would call myself brave because in the beginning of the book, I was separated from my mother for a long period of time. So I went to go find her barracks to see her, even though it was against the law. Later in the book, I also stood up to Schindler when he sent my family and I away from his factory. If I hadn't done that, I would be dead right now. I would consider myself enlightened because after the book was over, I was aware of the damage that the world was capable of. I also learned how to fight for myself and learned how to do things on my own.
So how old were you when all this happened?
Well, in 1937, I was only 8 years old, and I was very adventurous and excited to explore a new world. And it was a perfect chance for me to do so when I moved to Krakow. I was so naive, I had no idea about the difference of what colored hair could lead to. I had many different non-Jew friends. At the end of the book, I went through war. I witnessed thousands of Jews die. I had my friends betray me, and worst of all, I lost people I cared about. At the end of the book, I was aware of what damage the world could cause, and I learned how to take care of myself and how to do things on my own.
That's very stirring. Anyhow, in the book, is there a theme or a life lesson?
Actually, there is.
And what might that be?
Well, the theme in the story is no matter what happens, all bad things have to end, eventually. Even war, things will always get better.
Well, that's a great life lesson. And thank you for coming on our show. But that's all the time we have today, folks. See you next time on the Really Early Show. Goodbye.